Hey golfers, Will here, Golf Psychologist. Today I'm going to be showing you a technique of how to use that trail leg in the golf swing, kind of like Jordan Spieth, in order to get that solid, consistent ball striking like he does. There's some things that you can learn from him that I'm going to show you. So stay tuned. Let's get started. Okay, so talking about that trail leg is very important because there's some action that we want to create, that some structure, some movements that will have a cascading effect on your entire swing. And I'm going to give you a little secret here that it all hinges on the knee. Whatever the knee does is going to affect the hip, the shoulder, and that will in effect even impact the elbow and the wrist. So going over a few things with that trail leg, learning from someone like a Jordan Spieth, and seeing how we can implement that is what we're going to be focused on. One of the things that I noticed with Jordan is that when he gets done with that swing, he's almost in this position here, up on the toe, pretty straight on that right leg of his, and he shifted weight and turned through the ball very nicely. Of course, he's one of the most consistent players in the world. So what can we learn from that, and how can we do it in our swing? Well, the first thing is your setup. When you set up to hit the ball, you want to make sure that you have that right knee slightly bent more than the left knee. Why is that? It's because you're reaching farther with the right hand. If I were to set up neutral with everything, knees, hips, shoulders neutral, I would have more of a straight line on the shoulders, and you don't want that. You want to have the body set up like you are with the grip impacting your setup. My right hand is reaching farther down the grip, so that impacts the way my shoulder, hip, and knee set up. So the right knee is a little bit more bent than the left knee and a little bit lower than the left knee. Now, when I start the backswing, this right knee, this trail knee, is going to start straightening. And as you're getting to the top of your swing, you're taking the bend out of that knee. That's going to do something for your hip and trail shoulder as well. All of that starts to get into a nice turn. The shoulders are turning, the hips are turning, and a little bit of weight transfer is happening. One thing with the weight transfer is as you start your swing, you're kind of going to more from a 50-50 dynamic to about 60-40. As you continue, it's going to about 70-30. Then as it gets to the top of your swing, it's back to 50-50 again. Once that right leg gets to the fully straightened position, your weight should be pretty centered. That's really important. That keeps you right over the ball, and you're ready to make that transition into the downswing. So that's why that right knee has to be lower, and on the backswing you have to feel it straighten. Now, some teach that you really lock that out, but I personally don't like that. I think that it puts too much weight forward, and then you have too much opportunity to go backwards on the way down. So, slight flex in the right knee is what I aim for in my teaching, because I think it just puts you in a really good balanced position. Now, here's the key. On the downswing, what you don't want to do is go back into that knee bend again and get into this position here. Now, sure, you might see some players do that, and they play well. But overall, for just an amateur to do that and not understand all the things you have to do to counteract that, what can happen is you can get too handsy with it and start to kind of have that face of the club rotating a lot through impact, and you don't want that. You can also hang back on the right side too long, and then the hips kind of stall. So as you can see, if I go back into that knee bend, it's really hard to turn those hips at this point. because both knees have now gotten so low that it's going to be difficult. You're going to have more of a hip slide than a hip turn. So getting into that extension right there, as I start the downswing, I'm going to maintain that structure as I start the transition to the lead side and the hips turning. That's what it looks like. A little bit of a straightening in the right side, keeping that into the downswing, turning the hips and getting onto the toe of that trail foot. And that's basically what Jordan Spieth is doing, is he's getting to the top of his swing, maintaining the structure, turning the hips, and you see kind of this position out of him on the downswing. Another player that would do the same concept would be Scotty Shuffler, but of course he has some unique foot movements that go on that maybe distract you from noticing that, but he does that really well also. So I'll hit one for you, maybe put it in slow motion so you can see that knee action into the downswing, okay? Gonna start off here, a little bit more bend in the right knee, straighten it on the backswing, and then maintain it on the downswing. And what that does is it keeps the weight from going down. The weight is going this way. It's got to go toward the target from the top of the swing. And if I bend that knee again, my weight goes down, and then I can kind of get trapped back here, and the hips can start to stall. So by getting to the top of that swing with a slightly straightened trail leg and maintaining that going into the downswing, I get the hips turned and I get on the left side, which is the two things that you got to have in the golf swing. So definitely take this to heart, put it into practice. The best way to start working on it is just to almost just put the club down and just focus on what the knees are doing. You can even put your arms up here and just focus on that setup with a little bit more bend in that right knee. Feel it straighten on you on the backswing, and just rehearse that motion of getting into that higher position and then really driving and moving forward and maintaining the structure on the downswing. If you do that, I believe it'll work for you. If you need some help, go to my website, findyourpeakperformance.com. I do give virtual lessons. You send me a clip of your swing face on, another clip down the line, and I'll analyze it for you. I'll send you a link to a detailed, unique video just for you, and I'll let you know the cost on all that if you email me through my website, and I'll be glad to help you further. Definitely keep listening to the channel for more tips coming up. Good luck. We'll see you next time.